Hey everyone, how's it going? Mike McIntyre here with All Things Sports, and I'm back to bring you another video I said I would do a long time ago, but I've been really busy as of late, so I finally got the chance to make one, and I'm going to do a follow-up play-tested review on my Puma Evopower 1.2. So I got these pretty much back at the beginning of this September, and it was my first pair of Pumas that I've ever owned, really, and I was really excited about them. I did an unboxing video of them and a sort of performance overview of what the shoe has to offer. And so now that I've finally, I've had a lot of good use in them now. I've got some wears in them and got some good sessions in over quite a long period of time. I thought I would bring you a play-tested follow-up review of what the Puma Evopower 1.2s have to offer. So I'm going to go over the material, how they feel, what they're like to actually play in, and what it's like to own a pair of these Pumas. And I'm just going to touch on something that I experienced, at least with this shoe. So we'll get right into it. So we'll start off with the upper material. So the upper material is made out of Puma's Adapt-Lite synthetic. So basically what that is it's a microfiber synthetic material that stretches in one direction. So it stretches laterally. I always mix this up. I can't remember exactly, but it stretches one way so that it forms to your foot well, but it doesn't overstretch to the sense that it will become too loose and almost unwearable at a certain point. So it's a one-way stretch synthetic material, and it's actually very good. I love how it feels. It's extremely soft, very flexible, and once you have them broken in, it's a fantastic shoe to wear. It really is. And I've grown to like them actually quite a bit, and I'm a big fan of them. So the synthetic upper material itself, the baseline of the Adapt-Lite, is very good. Then Puma throws in these sort of, if you can see, they're sort of like these raised sort of pads built into the shoe. So that's their what do they call them exactly? I don't remember, but it's their grip tech. Well, they have the grip techs built into these pads, but these pads sort of provide just a bit of a raised surface to give you a little bit of extra rebound and a little bit of extra protection if you want. It really doesn't do much, but they're sort of this just little raised area off the shoe, and it provides a nice sort of surface to give you a little bit of extra bounce, I guess, when you kick a ball. I guess that's the idea behind it, but obviously, again, it's sort of a marketing factor. I don't think it's actually going to do very much for you in terms of generating more power, generating more speed. So, but it does. I mean, you can see it. You can see those sort of pads there. But it does it feels good. It's comfortable. It doesn't get in the way, and it's complementing a very good synthetic upper. And I think that's the best way to describe it. So that's a bit on those pads. And it's got this grip text, which is this orange pattern. Here, I get these laces out of the way. The orange pattern that's built into the upper here, this sort of grip text material, that really doesn't do much at all. It's there, and I like the way it looks from a design perspective. I think aesthetically it brings something to the shoe without it sort of just look sort of plain. So I like the way it looks, but it doesn't provide any grip, if any. Like, it really doesn't provide any at all. It's supposed to be like a wet performance element, just to add a bit of extra grip to the shoe, but you know, sort of like Adidas' sort of new design on their Ace and their X's, where they have those little dots, and Nike's ACC. It's basically the same idea, but it's like those two. You don't feel it, and I don't think it does anything. So, but again, I like what it brings to the shoe aesthetically. I think it does something good in a design sort of way. So, I like that. So everything about the upper, I really like it. I think it's extremely well built, and I think it's a great material to actually use. I'll talk about the heel. So the heel's got this it's got the same sort of cut as the Ace, Adidas Ace has. So it's got that same cut. It's not as deep as the Ace, but again, there's absolutely no problem with that. I love the way it fits. It hugs your heel nicely. It's got an internal heel counter built into the material, so it provides a good amount of lockdown. Your foot's really not going anywhere, especially that's a tighter fitting shoe too. So it's really snug on your foot, and it feels very good. There's absolutely nothing there to complain about, because it's really comfortable. I can talk about the EverFit cage system here. Again, I think that's just to bring something different design wise. It just brings some sort of contrast to the orange and the white. Well, this used to be white, but it just sort of brings that sort of design. I don't think it does anything at all in terms of helping the fit or improving performance. But aesthetically, I think it looks fine. It brings something to the shoe. So I've gone over pretty much all of the upper. Talked about the heel, the heel counter. I can talk about the tongue, because the tongue's got these sort of foam pads built into it. Right there's one. You can see it's got 3, 1, 2, and 3. And I actually like what those do. They're supposed to help cut down on lace bites. So when you tie the laces tight, the laces will I'm not sure what the right word is, but the laces will come in contact with these pads, and the pads will prevent the laces from biting down essentially onto your foot. So it feels fine. I mean, I like the way what they do. I mean, it's not a make or break item, but I like the fact that they're there and it brings something to the shoe. And I think it was a good idea for Puma. I think it was a nice idea. You could see they're thinking of little things that might just help fit, help feel and help the way a shoe fits. So that's a good little thing. And I'll talk about the Soleplate lastly. So the Soleplate is unchanged from the first generation of the Evopowers. So it's they call it the gradual stability frame is built into it here. So you can see it's like this spine that makes it stiffer in the heel, and it slowly gets more flexible as you come towards the toes. So essentially you can actually bend the shoe backwards when you're kicking the ball. So that's it. That's their sort of idea into generating more power, because as you kick the ball, your foot will naturally sort of curve downward like this. So now that you have a sole that can actually bend backwards, you might be able to generate a little bit more speed, a little bit more power. And when you hit the ball very well, like when you strike it well, you're not going to feel it go like this, but there's some sort of funny feeling you get that actually, your foot might just bounce back a little bit like this, and it's actually a rewarding sort of feeling. If that's the only really way I can put it. Again, it won't make or break the shoe, but it feels good, and there's absolutely no problem with stud pressure, no problem with traction. Overall, it does a very, very good job. It's got a nice combination of bladed studs and conical studs, so it does very, very good in that regard. And overall, it's just a great shoe, and I'm very, very impressed with it. Given that this is my first pair of Pumas, I really, really like the way they feel, and I like the way they perform. And it's a shoe that I'm going to keep wearing, because I really enjoy wearing this shoe. So that is the review of the follow-up, I should say, of how these things actually feel. But I'm just going to give you a bit of I'll say warning, but it's not a warning, but I had a bit of a durability problem with mine. And you can see, I think durability is one of its drawbacks. So I talked about all good things really with the shoe. It feels very, very good. It's got a bunch of elements built into it that are supposed to help performance-wise, but overall the shoe does a very, very good job, and it feels comfortable. But you can see it's sort of starting to come apart there. The sole plate's very, very thin, and I think after a long time, I think these shoes could break down. So from a durability point of view, I think these are a little weaker than other shoes. I'm just going to leave it at that. So if you are to buy a pair, just be a little wary of that, because they could break down. On mine, I actually had, the upper is so thin. I was wearing these during a game, and I got stepped on this shoe on the right foot, and the guy's cleats kind of got stuck in the laces, and as I pulled away and as he pulled away, it basically just ripped the laces right out of these lace holes. So I actually had 2 rips, one right here, if you can see that, one right there, and one right here. And the laces literally just ripped out. The laces didn't break, it was the material that broke. So it ripped right through, and I had to get them. It wasn't a big problem in the end, but I had to get them re-stitched. So if you can see, I took them to a shoemaker, and he reinforced the hole with 2 pieces of leather. I hope you can see that. There's one right there. So he reinforced those with pieces of leather, so now that it can't really rip apart. So the shoe is almost good as new. There's absolutely no problem. I was able to get them fixed. But again, it's a durability concern that you might want to just be aware of if you are to purchase a pair of these for yourself. However, I did report these to Puma. I told them that happened, and I had to go through a small procedure, but Puma were very, very good as far as customer service goes. They actually sent me another pair of Evopowers. So I actually have 2 pairs of Evopowers. So I'm going to unbox the other ones just to show you which ones they are. But yeah, that's what happened to me. So that's my experience in them. The shoe is fantastic. It feels very, very good. I like the sole plate. I like the material. But they are susceptible to rips and tears and stuff like that, just because of, I think, the nature of the shoe. And the other thing I'll just mention quickly is the break-in period. These have a much longer break-in period than pretty much anything else I've ever experienced. The only other ones that took longer were my Magista Obras, which broke, and if you follow my channel, you know the story behind those. But these do take a while to break in, just because the shoe is very, very, very tight initially. It's extremely snug. I mentioned that in the unboxing when I tried them on. So just be aware of that. If you want to get them, I strongly suggest you try them out. If you're interested in Puma Evopowers, I really, really suggest you try them out, because I think they're a fantastic shoe. But they are going to take a while to break in. I had some blister issues with them, particularly out here on my little pinky toe, just because they're extremely, extremely tight. And when you're playing in hot weather on turf in the summer, or in late summer, I should say, it could really cause a problem. And for me, I'm stubborn. I didn't take them off. I just kept wearing them. So yeah, so I had some issues with those. So it's partly my fault, but they do take a longer time to break in. So just be aware of that. So overall, great performing shoe, very good feel, but they do take a long time to break in, and there are some durability concerns with them in the long term. So that's it, guys. That's pretty much everything I have to say about them. And again, I'm really, really glad I got them. I'm glad I'm going to definitely keep wearing these ones. And I have a second pair now, thanks to Puma. So their customer service was fantastic, and I want to thank them for that. So that's pretty much it for this follow-up of the Puma Evopower 1.2s. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. I'll answer them for sure. And that's it. So thanks, guys. Again, this was Mike McIntyre with All Things Sports, and that is the Puma Evopower 1.2s. Take care, guys.